discuss and provide some help around. So with that, Sarah, it's all yours.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much again to Janine and everyone that helped put this on, and including me today. I have a couple of businesses that I represent, which you mentioned. I'm actually going to share a little bit of a story, and then I have my questions/challenges at the end here. So to set up the three businesses that I kind of represent, Trasca, so the Sarah Trasca brand, I'm a keynote innovation speaker throughout the world. So I've built a personal brand. I connect with different businesses, different organizations, and really trying to motivate them to understand how innovation can help their organizations to think differently, to empower their people, to foster growth. Platypus Labs is actually the backbone of my business there. We are an innovation consulting firm. So I do a lot of workshops. I do a lot of consulting, kind of rolling up our sleeves, helping clients, etc. The third business is actually one that I have founded and own personally. It's a restaurant that's located in Northeast Florida, and it's carrying on the tradition of my family. So my grandmother actually invented our sandwich that we serve back in the early 70s. So the story that I'm going to share with you today kind of marries all three businesses together, but it's the fairly dramatic story of how I was able to use the innovation premise of Platypus Labs and my speaking to save the restaurant. So with that, this is just a little snapshot of kind of my world. I have 5 children. I have the Platypus Labs side as well as this restaurant. And we've been in operation for about 5 years. Very proud to serve my community, very proud to kind of teach my children the hard work necessary to start a small business and especially a restaurant. So the restaurant actually, again, carries on my family's legacy. I've been very proud to say that, you know, my family has served kind of comfort food, this artisan quality pizza dough. We make it fresh every single day. We make everything from scratch, actually. My family's businesses are in Colorado Springs and in Minnesota. And I opened up here in a little town called Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. I was very reflective that there was no real kind of artisan quality food that was in a non-pretentious space, a space where you could come and be yourself. So I opened this place. I would say really happy with how the community has supported us and how we've been able to serve. On any given night, you can find families dining on the patio, you know, laughing, enjoying our live music. We have a lot of local musicians that'll come and croon on the patio. So craft beer, wine, etc. And it's really, you know, a community center. I would say people consider it their third place, their home, their work, and then our restaurant. So enter COVID. COVID obviously was a very, very dramatic shift in the way that businesses go to market. We had our revenue literally cut off. People weren't allowed to dine inside the restaurant. There were restrictions on even sitting on the patio for a while. We have a number of folks on our team that depend on this income. They have chosen to be a part of the service industry for their career. And we have a number of teammates that honestly were going to face, you know, a real hardship. So I had to take a really hard look in the mirror. I talked to businesses all over the world. I'm pleased to support a number of, you know, big brands like Honda and Coke and all sorts of things. But, you know, I teach them how to be innovators. I teach them how to have that startup, that entrepreneurial spirit to foster growth. And here I was, completely paralyzed by the COVID situation, facing bankruptcy. I even went as far as to call a bankruptcy attorney and start to understand how the process worked. I mean, I felt as if I was, you know, the victim of something that I couldn't control, and I didn't know what to do. I went into the restaurant about a week after this paralysis started. I had thrown up my arms and said, this is it. We're finally doomed. This beautiful business that I'd started, that the community has trusted, is done. So I actually started then taking a look around, and I would say I came out of this paralysis with a bit of energy. I started to think about the people that needed to eat, the people who were putting their lives on the line in the hospitals, in the sheriff's office, in the firefighting halls, that were sacrificing being home with their families. They were, you know, in the midst of chaos. And actually, my best friend Lori is a Jacksonville firefighter. She was telling me how chaotic it was, how they were, you know, pulling hours you could not imagine. They were preparing the city for the chaos that was about to unfold. And it dawned on me that these people needed a touch of comfort. And I have comfort food. I have pizza and sandwiches and soups and all sorts of things that are nutritious and delicious and really could kind of help people. So I launched a business or a little program called the Adopt a Hero program. Basically, people in the community could go online and they could donate. They could, we had donations from anywhere from $5 to $1,000 in one, kind of donation. We raised over $10,000 in the first week. And the money then was turned into food, which we then would go around to the different hospitals, the different clinics. We have the Mayo Clinic here right in our back door. We had, several partnerships with different law enforcement and first responder spots. So we were able to bring the food to them. And we did it in a flexible fashion where they would tell us, hey, we've got a shift change. It would be helpful if you brought 50 meals. So we were able to bring it to them at the times that would help them. So this program, here's my daughter and I, Ashley and I, bringing food. It was early on, so we actually don't have masks in this picture, though, of course, now we have masks every single time. But we were able to support our community. We were able to give the people in our community a place to donate and give back. And we were able to really bridge the time period when we were facing, not being able to make payroll. And there was about a 2-week period where, again, I thought we were going to go bankrupt. I thought this was a certain doom. And then we got the PPP loan. So we bridged about 2 weeks when it was down to, a cash flow that was very meager, very, very scary time period. The point of this is that I was able to use the innovation and creativity tools to help solve my business. And honestly, it was an eye-opening experience. When our backs are against the wall, I do believe that is when we find our best solutions. One of the mantras that I think I've come up with from this is that every barrier can be penetrated. We can solve our problems even in the times of dire need if we only allow ourselves to use those moments to bring up creative solutions, to try to press forward, to try to find ways to help others. And honestly, the value that we were able to provide again to the community, not only through the food, but also giving people a chance and a place to very easily give back, I think was the win. So this is the program that we, came up with. I think I'm very proud to say that we never furloughed anyone. We never had to lay anyone off. Our full-time employees always had full hours. So honestly, it's just been a miracle that we've made it through. But I think, again, the reflection back on this, I'm very proud to say I think we are better now than we have ever been. I think we will come out of COVID in a stronger manner, better business people, better partners with the community. And I think this program can live on, though one of my questions for you, and I'll actually go back to that slide, is that I think that there is possibility not only to bring this broadly, perhaps throughout the country, perhaps throughout the world, not as a branded, Trasca run program, but something that could help others. And I think there is a possibility that it could help people through crises in, all of the natural disaster type situations with earthquakes and floods and hurricanes and things like that. So I'm very curious to know the reaction of the team on whether or not you think that this could go broader than just us. That's my first question.
Okay, so let me open that up to the audience for input or advice.
Well, it's actually kind of, Sarah, it's actually already out there. I just posted a link in the chat. We have